Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ballet Rain. You may be wondering why we have the hankies today, and that is because we are going to be appreciating a very sad piece of ballet rep today. If you watched our recent video on the Tarantella from Napoli, you will know that that was one of our happy place ballets and the ballet that we watch when we want to hype ourselves up and put ourselves in a good mood. But, hypothetically, what if you wanted a ballet to have a good cry to? What if you were feeling really sad and you want to have a good cry? What ballet would you watch for that? Lucky for you, we have just the thing.
The piece of rep that we're going to be appreciating with y'all today is from La Bayadère. In particular, Nikiya's death scene, which occurred at the very end of Act 2.
It is a very tragic scene. It's like the false ending almost of the ballet, which is very, very impactful because it kind of happens right in the middle of everything, and sort of all the tensions really come to a head at this moment.
Exactly.
So it's incredibly powerful, and we're very excited to walk you guys through it, talk about sort of the interpretations that can be taken with this variation and the scene in general. So grab your hanky, hit the like button, and we will roll right into it. For context,
for those of you who haven't heard of the ballet La Bayadère simply means the temple dancer, translated. So our main ballet protagonist, our main female ballet protagonist is a temple dancer named Nikiya. And this particular scene features Nikiya in a very interesting situation, a very sad situation. Basically, Nikiya is in love with Solar, and he's a legendary warrior slash hunter, and they sworn eternal love to each other over the sacred fire. However, the king decided to betroth Solar to his daughter, the Princess Gamzati. And so now this is at their engagement party, sort of like their official engagement. And Nikiya was called to dance as a part of the betrothal ceremony to bless the union and also to please their gods to bless them with a happy marriage.
Obviously, there are different plot twists that culminate in her death, but we'll get into that in a little bit. So, the dancer that we're going to be watching today is the legendary ballerina Tamara Rojo. She was with the Royal Ballet at the time of this performance.
She's not dancing anymore though.
Yeah, she's not dancing anymore, which is sad because she
is one of the best.
Perfect blend of artistry and technique. So yes, we thought she would be the fitting candidate for today's ballet appreciation, and she does a wonderful job of carrying the story and really taking us with her in that. So,
here we go.
Talk aside, let's go right into it. Grab your tissues, you're gonna need it. It's quite tragic.
So he comes in and he says, okay, here's the temple dancer. She's going to dance and bless the couple. She goes, oh, it's you. And he says, oh, it's you.
Yeah, they can barely look at each other at this point because they know what happened.
Yeah.
Solar is powerless to do anything about it.
Yeah, you can't disrespect the king.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's also powerless because you can't disrespect the king. So it's
a very bad situation.
Her control is absolutely immaculate in this first port de bras. One might argue that the slower things seem easier, but they're actually
the hardest.
Incredibly hard. I just wanted to highlight whenever she takes that leg around to cross it in front.
That's not normal.
That's not usually in most productions of this variation. Sometimes they'll just place the foot around in the cross position there.
Yeah.
But she takes a full demi-grand rond de jambe to place that foot there. Also, this takes an incredible amount of control to carry the leg all the way over, and she looks incredibly solid.
She looks so stable.
If you watch her back leg, you have to pivot on that heel to change your direction.
Yeah.
She doesn't waver like this on her foot. If you zoom in really closely, she is absolutely stable. Absolutely.
And that's very hard with point shoes because the point shoe has a raised sole, so it's very easy to wobble. But she has so much control that she's able to do it without any wobbling hardly at all. Immaculate.
And there are no corners either. Everything is so fluid.
Yeah, it's a beautiful circle. Sometimes when we do this port de bras, it gets a little choppy, but this one is very seamless. Absolutely gorgeous.
This is mastery. This is what mastery looks like.
Complete mastery.
And she has never lost the artistry for the sake of focusing on the balance.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Did you see how much that grew and expanded?
With the orchestra swell.
With the orchestra swell. That really emphasized it, and I think that was really beautifully done. This is the epitome of what we try to accomplish in classical ballet of today.
This is incredibly difficult to do a big jump in a slow variation.
Yes.
Because the landing, it tends to become heavy.
Yeah.
When you do a big jump, you have all this momentum coming down, especially down to the knee. And she has to control that.
Control the landing and make it look as controlled as everything else.
You almost have to fight gravity to come down
Yeah.
slower.
Yeah. You definitely have to fight against gravity.
Illusion time. In order to look like you jump slower, you have to jump higher. Even though it seems like you would take this first battement slowly, you actually have to jump.
Put more force
into it than you normally would.
Yeah.
So you float, and then when you come down, it has that illusion of you moving slower.
Absolutely.
So it's actually quite a bit more tiring.
It is. Oh my goodness. No words. Absolute perfection.
Okay, already getting up on one leg
Yeah.
from that whole back bend position and going up on one leg takes a lot of strength already. To go straight from that into your releve and hold it like that.
It shows that she has mastered her placement and her center of balance. She is so familiar with where her balance point is that she can just find it from any precarious transition or position prior and immediately be able to find it. That shows maturity and mastery as an athlete and a dancer. With hardly any wavering at all. A lot of this variation I always felt like is that she has to bless the couple, partly in her own will, but partly not. Obviously not, because she's very sad about the entire arrangement. It's not the right arrangement.
Yeah.
But she is, firstly, I mean, she tried to kill Kamzadi in the last act, and she obviously feels bad about that. So I feel like she kind of feels like she has to make up for it to heal her reputation and to heal her errors. But also because she loves Solar, and even though he's not with her, she still loves him, and wherever he goes in life, she wants to make sure he's happy and well, and she just wants to bless him in that way. But ultimately, very sorrowfully, because she should have been with him. And there's a lot of different ways you can play up the character. Sometimes she's angry and she's praying to the gods to kill her or kill
she's
them.
Pleading with them to
do something. Yeah.
I love this sequence because it shows her whole thought process.
Yeah.
You can see that she's very obviously praying to her god, but at the same time she always looks back at him try and see is anything happening. Do you feel the same way as I do?
And at the same time, just, can you do anything about it?
She's waiting for him to stand up.
Yeah, I think she would love for him to stand up.
Yeah.
For her and for them. But she sees the king and she understands, he can't do anything about this.
Oh my goodness.
She's so consistent. Watch her do it the second time. On releve, rolls down on that shoe, scarcely wavers and into the beautiful développé to penché arabesque.
For context, as dancers, a lot of us struggle with just a penché arabesque.
Yeah.
If you watch our Miss Mojo video, you will know that a penché arabesque is actually one of the hardest things. A lot of us dancers will struggle with that. Additionally, a lot of dancers will struggle with rolling down cleanly.
On one leg.
In one leg.
Yeah.
So, rolling down on one leg into that penché arabesque twice consistently, that is calibration. That is mastery.
Yeah, it means it wasn't just luck.
Yeah.
She mastered it, and she can
Yeah.
do it consistently every time.
Let's just analyze that. That's incredible because when she does this, you can see from
How
her position
straight.
already, her ribs are incredibly closed.
Yes.
Her core is engaged. She is slightly forward.
In preparation
yes.
for the next step.
Yeah.
Right.
You can see the stillness because if you're far back with your ribs and with your torso, the
not
balance
gonna
is going to
work.
fall apart.
Yeah.
You have to knit everything together in the front. Stabilize underneath the hip and then go into that.
Yes.
And even in that penché, the ribs never open.
The ribs never opened, and she stayed exactly where she was. She didn't let herself fall forward
Yeah.
when she brought the leg up. She stayed very, very, very held in the upper body especially, and in the supporting hip.
Yeah. Even if you were watching her for the first time, you didn't know what was going to happen to her.
Yeah.
This is already, it's almost like already her death sentence. There's that kind of despair and that kind of just like there's no hope for her.
Yeah.
Even though she keeps looking at him and keep like waiting on him. Every time after she looks at him, like, are you going to do something? After that, there's always that sort of da 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 da. Musically, you can hear that tension that she's waiting. He could say something, and then she's like, no, he won't do that, and I wouldn't want him to. It's just that amount of turmoil. It's just
Yeah, the turbulence.
just heartrending. I will admit, I've always wanted to do this scene. Gamzati sees the amount of turmoil Nikiya's in, and also they had an argument earlier, so she knows exactly what
Yes.
Nikiya's going through.
Yes,
Exactly.
exactly.
And she, being the antagonist of the ballet, decides to exploit that.
Yeah.
So that's why you can see her periodically throughout the entire second act. She's always trying to emphasize the fact that solo is hers. Make sure, like, he has her hand, she's with him, like,
yeah,
it's a done
100%.
deal.
Yeah, it's so cruel.
She's
but-
not apologetic at this point because
She's not, because
Nikiya-
Nikiya obviously did her wrong, tried to threaten her life, and so she says, no,
yeah, you don't deserve
you
any
don't
more
deserve
credit.
anything. Yeah.
That's too much for Nikiya, clearly.
Yeah.
And then
She's about to leave,
yeah.
but then the nurse, and
Gamzati.
if we roll back the tape a little bit, you can see that they had the king and Gamzati and basically all of his crew had this all planned out. You can see, the king was whispering to the nurse, "Okay, go get the flowers now." Yeah, it was all very orchestrated,
Yes.
and there was a lot of scheming involved, but
They want to make sure she doesn't leave yet.
yeah, because they have a gift for her, a very special gift for her.
Yeah, so the nurse just gave her flowers.
And she said that they're from Solar.
Yeah.
She said
And
they're for
this
you.
is actually a light of hope for Nikiya. Because she thinks that she has a bit of hope. Like, Solar, it's sort of communicating the fact that he still loves her, even though he's
Yeah.
forced to go through with this marriage.
Yeah.
At least he still is
It's like-
thinking of her.
Yeah, he's thinking of her, and his heart is truly with her. That's kind of like a token of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so she feels better knowing
Yeah.
that it was against his will, and he didn't want to be with Gamzati, but he just has no choice. So I think this is a little bit of a
like a resolution. It's very bittersweet.
Yeah, it's bittersweet, but at
More
least
bitter than sweet.
Yeah, but at least it kind of
Yeah.
gives her that consolation.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Now this part is different than most productions in terms of music and choreography. This particular section is usually a lot quicker.
Yeah.
And
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, but they switched out for a lot more melancholy version. Although the other version that's a little bit quicker, it gives you like that feeling that she is overjoyed. She said this is from him.
She's showing everyone. She's so pleased because this is her last glimmer of hope, really.
Yeah. I like this version actually a lot.
Yeah. That was beautiful.
Lovely.
It looked like she came down with an extra lift
Yeah.
there. And that's what we always are looking for in ballet. You never want to just go up and then come straight down. Before you go down, you have to do an extra lift and then you
can come
float
back
down to the ground.
Exactly. Now we go back to the original music.
Yes,
By the way, this is the
typical.
original, the typical music.
And here is the catch. There was a snake
In the flowers.
and it bit her.
A deadly snake, by the way.
Yes.
Of course, all very craftily schemed by Gamzati and the king and all of them.
So the flowers had never been from Solar all along.
No, they were from Gamzati.
Of course, everyone's panicked.
Yeah. And she looks at Gamzati
See,
and
Gamzati's already looking over here like, oh, what's wrong?
What's wrong? What's wrong with you? And she goes, the snake that bit me. It was all your fault.
Yeah, she knows. And King says, don't touch my daughter. Gamzati's turned away from her. She's like, you're on your own.
You're on your
I
own.
don't care.
Exactly.
You deserved it. Everyone kind of abandons her at this point because there's really nothing they can do. You can see Solar cares so much for her.
Yeah, but the king says, you go away, take Gamzati out of here because we don't need to see her die.
And here comes the other character, the High Brahmin.
Yeah.
And now he secretly loves Nikiya himself. So he offers her an antidote to the poison and says, you can take it, I'll give it to you if you promise to marry me instead. And Nikiya sees Solar leaving with Gamzati and she says that
There's
it's
no point in
not
living.
worth it. And of course, the Brahmin is heartbroken. And she dies.
So that was Nikiya's death.
It is a very incredibly powerful scene, very immersive, I think. What I appreciate about this scene is that how much of Nikiya's psyche it captures. You can really see the thoughts that are going through her head, so it's a very well-crafted death scene.
I think emotionally it's very complicated.
Yeah,
And I think
exactly.
that definitely takes an artist to portray that in a very clear way to an audience.
I really think I've always, if I were to do a death scene, honestly, this would be such...
This would be the one, right?
This would be the one. It goes through all, like, a range of reluctance, acceptance, tragedy, panic, then shock, and betrayal, and hurt, and heartache. Like, There's so many layers to it. As dancers, it's always a treat to be able to explore sort of those areas. This ballet is generally a very poised, very polite art form. So to have some of these raw moments as a dancer, sometimes it's a treat just to like break out of the usual politeness, the usual courtesy, and to get something really wild.
Yeah.
But anyway, we want to applaud Tamara. It was absolutely beautiful.
You can't find another like that.
Yeah.
I've never seen a more beautiful Nikiya.
Bravo to her. It's just, it's
immaculate.
Wow. So we hope you guys enjoyed today's ballet appreciation, and hopefully we could give you guys some insight on the challenges that we as dancers face in portraying a dark scene like this in ballet. I think it really says a lot about the storytelling power of ballet, because these ballets were from long, long ago. It's like a story that's passed down from generation to generation.
Yeah.
And that something like this can still move us even to this day. Make sure you comment below a ballet that you've watched that really moved you, because we'd be really interested to know.
If you like the video, and if you really like the video, then you can share it with a friend. And if you really like the video, then you can subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, because we post a lot of videos like this on our channel, and you definitely don't want to miss the next one.
And I think that is all from us for now. This is Ballet Rain signing off. Until the next video.
Bye!
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ballet Rain.
I love that we have the Energizer Bunny on your suggestion.
I keep having, I know. Very
venomous snake. Venomous? Venomous.
Yes.
Venomous.
Sorry, let's try that again. Oh, we're about to die.
Uh-oh.